Okay, this morning I was listening to the Steve Harvey show, and that's my usual thing on the way to work.
Did we just call him out on my show?
Yes.
we need to get him on
but
the show.
I'm not going to talk about him.
We need to get him on the show since we done called him out a few times.
I'm not going to talk about him on Strawberry
I'm not going to talk about but them things just unreal and terrible.
Okay, can we move on from this?
I'm so sorry. Those things are so horrible.
He mentioned
that goes to show people's lives is horrible because they write news.
Man, they'll be right now. He be making that up. Stop tripping. You stop tripping.
Okay, this is not about the
people are not like that.
This is about the 80-20 rule that he brought up, that T.D. Jakes has, made his thing. And basically the 80-20 rule is the belief in, or the philosophy that you're not going to find 100% of what you want in a man or woman. You'll probably get 80%.
Maybe.
And a lot of times people will leave the 80% that they have at home to go and get the 20% that they're missing from their significant other. So what do you guys think about that? Do you think that's true?
I think that's very true, but I also think that there needs to be dialogue between the two people to try to get from 80 to 100. Do I think that you're ever going to get to 100? No, I don't. Right. But I think if the person that's producing the 80 is receptive to what you need to fill out some of that 20 and at least makes the effort, then you got the makings of a good situation. If that 80 is not trying to do any more than 80, then that 80 leaves themselves open to the frustration of that 20, and that resentment is going to build up over time, and that 80 is going to slowly start creeping down. It's not going to always be 80. It might sound good, but it may not always be 80, and that 20 is going to start going up. You know what I'm saying? Even though that 20 still ain't where you need to be, it starts getting bigger and brighter, and next thing you know, you looking at the 20 seeing 48, and
so are you saying that if you have 80, you shouldn't really, I guess, be satisfied with that? You should never be
satisfied. You should never be satisfied. But see the problem. The problem. You should never be satisfied. But the problem is, too many people are satisfied, and too many people feel like on that day when you get married that your job is done. And they
won that race.
They won the race. You don't cross the finish line and you done. And the cutesy little things that you used to do, used to buy her flowers, used to open the door for her, or you used to do that thing that he liked.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't do that thing. You don't do that thing no more that he liked. You know what I'm saying? So, you see the pretty dress and it takes 5 minutes for it to be on the floor. You know what I mean? You don't roll like that no more. So you get content. So you might have had 80 at some point, and whenever that point is, it slowly starts to go down. So I understand that concept. I remember seeing the movie just like y'all did.
Right.
But you should never, ever be content with 80%. Because when you go to school and you get an 80%, the higher you go in your education, the lower 80%. When you're in third grade, 80 might be a B. But when you're in college, you know what 80 is? That's a C. Right. You okay with
almost a D?
You okay with getting C's? If you okay with getting C's, then all right, if that's good enough for you. But I don't want to get C's. I ain't never been a C student. I ain't trying to start now.
But I guess what the concept says too, don't leave your 80 to be with the 20.
Yeah, but again, that's where the illusion comes in, because the disillusionment that you're getting from that lack of it being 100% leaves you susceptible for the 20 to come in, open the door. You might end up stepping in that door.
Right.
And who knows, you might end up with that 20, and that 20 might expand to become the new 80. You don't know, because you done walked into something that you confused about. You disillusioned. Remember, disillusion means what? Confusion. So now you're confused. So I think as long as you are putting in the effort to be more than the 80, and we're using these numbers. I don't like using these numbers. I will say this: as long as you're making the effort to be more, to do more, right, to accommodate the one that you with, and to meet the needs of the ones you with, while at the same time getting your needs met, then you're on the right track. But if you okay with just being 80, it was cool and it sounded slick when we heard it, but the more I think about it, like, it's bull. This really is some bull, because ain't nobody in the world really okay with 80% of nothing. I'm not okay with 80%.
Some people are okay, but I'm not one of them either. Steve Harvey wasn't okay. He divorced his wife and found himself a 100.
Is she really a 100? The things that I hear.
To him, that was that.
The way he makes it seem like on the radio it is.
She was at 20. That became more than a 20.
Well, I think what this really means is, say that wifey at home is busy with the kids and I'm not getting the sex as much as I used to. So this one over here is about to throw it to me. But yet she doesn't cook, she doesn't clean, she doesn't do none of that. So I'm leaving my wife over here that's taking care of home just to get some sex, and I'm gonna end up losing my wife and my kids and my home for this sex. Now what do I do?
What's the term? Turn her into a housewife?
I mean,
well, I think
again, it's not politically correct, but then maybe wifey need to do more, straight up. Because if I'm here and I'm making the attempt to do more, and when I have a conversation with you and we discuss what it is that we're doing and what our parts are, and you can't give me where I'm deficient, I'm not endorsing going out and doing that. I'm not endorsing that. But what I'm saying is, I mean, if you're not doing it, if you're sitting around again content, like we said before, what are we doing here? Are we building up resentment? And now I'm sitting here, I'm mad. And it's not a gender thing, because maybe husband is the one who is the 80, because it ain't always. I mean, hey, look, real talk. Yeah, Temptation, it just came out. It ain't just the brothers that step out. Trust me, the brothers that stepping out, they ain't stepping out by themselves.
That's the funny part about that is, I used to get flack when I say I want my relationship to be 50-50. This is why I want my relationship to be 50-50. Because if you have an 80-20 relationship, somebody's going to drop the ball somewhere. A 50-50 relationship, either both of y'all going to drop it or nobody's going to drop it.
Well, I think both need to put up, at least try to put up 100%. That's the concept that I get from Marcus J, that we should be striving for 100, both of us.
And that's what I'm saying. It's just, you want to equal 200. If everybody puts up 100, you're good. That's 50-50. But if somebody puts up 160 and the other puts up 40, eventually the 160 will get pissed off.
Right.
And that's why I feel it's funny how some people feel like, I'm not going to say who laughed at me, because people laugh at me all the time. But when I expressed my 50-50, I got caught with some flack. Not just here, I'm all over the place, all over my life, because I feel like if you're not in a 50-50 relationship, then somebody holds control, and basically what happens is, eventually the other person gets sick of that person holding control, and that's when 51-49 becomes 60-40 to somebody stepping out, and then the 80-20 rule comes into play.
Well, it all depends on what you consider 50-50. Is it 50-50 financially?
It's 50-50 everything. 50-50. You can't break it up. It's 50-50 relationship. The relationship is 50-50. That's it. Financial, all that stuff goes into it. If woman is making $200,000 a year and husband is taking care of kids, that's a 50-50 relationship. But when she comes home and he has dinner on the table and vice versa, as long as when they're at home, they do stuff together to make sure that the other is feeling well involved, that is a 50-50 relationship.
No, I agree with that. I think ultimately, as long as both parties feel content and secure, then that is ideal. If you've got one party in the relationship, male or female, that are feeling left out and not taken care of in any way, whether that means emotionally, taking care of the bills, taking care of the house,
physically,
not getting enough sex. If there's somebody in the relationship that feels that there's deficiency, you are going to leave open room for resentment to creep in. And if you leave open for resentment to creep in, all bets are off on what may happen. Now, you need to, respect what you're supposed to be there for. But I mean, again, if we keep it real, we keep it real. If you leave it open for resentment, then things can happen, and it's unfortunate. We getting hit on the Facebook page. Hakeem says that he can't stand Steve Harvey either. He's agreeing with me. Says preach. And he also says, what if the spouse is unable, do you leave? And I'm guessing, unable to perform some of the things that you need them to perform. And he uses the word unable, which is obviously different than unwilling. Right. Unwilling is one thing, unable is quite another. And then he's got a question to Big Rube, but it's just a question mark. So I'm waiting to see what his question is. Make it quick, Zach, because we need to get out of this segment real quick and do our rants and closes. Dating Pool Diva, take the last word.
I just was going to add on to what you were saying. Communication is very important, and you're not going to know that person is discontent or having resentment or whatever if they don't speak about it. So many people, they want to go out and get that 20%, and they haven't even talked to their spouse or their girlfriend or whoever about the problem. Like, that is the central issue. Talk to your spouse or your girlfriend or your wife, whatever, and figure out how you can resolve the issue instead of just saying, oh, well, she's not giving me or he's not giving me what I want. I'm going to go out and get what I want.
Ain't no half Steppin with Marcus J. Live from the Dan Legacy Internet Radio.com and on MixLR. We appreciate everybody staying with us with this late hour. I came in here tonight saying that we was going to be out the door by 9:15. I swear I said it, y'all. But I cannot cut the Dating Pool Diva short because she always brings it every single time she's here on the fourth Monday of every single month. She brings it. And this month she brought it with Brandy. And I'm definitely glad and proud to have these sisters here. Definitely join us on the Dating Pool blog on Facebook. Definitely Dating Pool Revolution blog. And definitely hit us up on the Dating Pool Revolution forums that we have every single month. And we always put them out there, where we're going to be at and that sort of thing. So we definitely appreciate the support that we get and hope that we continue to gain more support. Last thing I want to get, and I'm going to give Rube an opportunity, and please make this really quick. When Sid asked this question about the 50-50, when if she is unable, or what if the spouse, is what he's saying, is unable to leave with regards to that 50-50 is his question. When you said before, that you want everything to be 50-50, his question is, what if one person is actually unable, not unwilling, but unable? How do you handle that? That's Sid's question to you. Please make it quick so we can get out of here because we do need to go.
Love will steer you in the right direction.
That is. That is. You either are able to produce that love and have love steer you, or you won't. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. That is the end of that segment, the Dating Pool Diva. Like I said, she brings it. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with our rants. We're going to come back with our closings, and we're going to close out the show. Marcus J, Big Rube, Miss Charisma, and Miss Brandy. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Hang in there. Be back in 2.